Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're finally going to be playing a little bit more of 1000 Lies. I think we're probably about halfway. I was looking at the timestamps and we've been playing for about 3 hours. So I think we're about halfway through. So we're going to jump right back in here and hopefully we can make some headway. I am still interested in what's going to happen with this visual novel. Also, don't mind the Chance that's back here behind me. He's my little old man and he's not too keen on moving, so he'll probably be there the whole video. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes of this. And let's get right into it. Alright, on the outskirts of town beyond the park, near the abandoned neighborhood, there's a small, unfinished library. It's actually... Oh, damn it, what'd I do? Okay, can't do that again. It isn't actually only a library, but also a cultural center with special rooms to practice painting, music, and ceramics, among other things. They never managed to finish it, so one of the wings of the building is in ruins. The other wing is in perfect condition, and except for the lack of water and electricity, it's an ideal hangout. As we stand in front of the abandoned building, I pop open the hardy door, not by pushing it, but by picking the lock. When we get inside, I show Lucy the way to what was, until now, my secret hideout. Where's our girl? Oh my, so you weren't lying when you said it was a great place. Aside from the dust, it all seems new. How is it possible that nobody has taken any of this stuff? Because it's my secret hideout. It's a secret. Duh. They left in a hurry. Just like the rest of the urbanization plan, they probably ran out of money to collect everything, or they thought they'd continue in the future and forgot about it. Who knows? Point is, this place is pretty far away and secluded, so nobody ever comes here. It's like my own personal hideout. Don't tell anyone, or that'll be the end of my luck, okay? And don't wander too far from here. The other wing isn't really in the best condition, so it's dangerous. You already told me that 1,000 times on the way here. Yeah, I'll be careful. But the rest is amazing. It could even be open in this state. There's already furniture here, and even books over there. The wing of the building was open for a limited time before they abandoned it. Almost everything remained here, so that's a good thing for us, I guess. In any case, looks can be deceiving. There's no maintenance, and most of the stuff's broken somehow, so it's not really safe. For that reason, I only use the library. Back to my point. I fulfilled my part, so now you don't have to draw in any uncomfortable playground in the middle of nowhere. Lucy nods at everything I say, although her expression obviously expresses that she's thinking about something else as she circles around the tables in the room. If it's abandoned, it has to be nasty and dirty in there. I mean, why would you want to take white paper and put it on a nasty, dirty table and get it all gross? But I'm probably just thinking too far into it. She stands still with her eyes fixated out the large window and begins talking. Tell me, you've seen my drawings. What do you think of them? My sincere opinion? No, people want you to lie. Lucy nods once again. You're good. Not the best I've seen, but I'm convinced that you've got something special. I'd like to ask you to never write anything in your life again, though. I see. The concepts are still interesting, though, especially considering how hard it is to draw fantasy without any references. I think you have talent, but need a little bit more practice. I'm no expert, though. He was very, very honest. I'll give him that. Seriously, you think I have talent? Lucy sighs in relief and then shoots me a skeptical look. She turns around, making eye contact with me, wearing a serious and intimidating demeanor. Nobody's ever told me that I have talent before. Not sincerely, at least. Yeah, some people tell me that I draw well, others just make comments about it. Truthfully, I've never fully committed myself to drawing. But she does it in secret, so how could she actually get a good opinion of it? Doodling in the margins of notebooks isn't really drawing. The expectations between the two are completely different, and when you try to do something real, something unique, it turns out not being any different from the sketch in the margin. How can you show that to anyone else when you can't face the reality of it yourself? Then you start tirelessly repeating, I only need to practice, but it doesn't matter how long you spend, the improvement is minimal. And 2 days after you meet someone who's never drawn anything in his life, you finally learn not to mistake compliments with real talent. Don't know if that's supposed to be a dig or not. How can I show anything I've drawn to anyone? There's no way I can proudly talk about the work I've spent weeks creating when someone else could draw the same thing in several minutes. When can I say I finally learned to draw? When will I finally be able to show off a masterpiece? The worst is how, even when you find an artist who's worse than you, it turns out that they just have their own style. Even if you don't understand the difference between style and talent, you have to believe them anyway because you're really a nobody. Alright, so she's super ranting. We get that. Your self-esteem gets crushed because you don't have the privilege of doubt, and who says that they're wrong? Did I do something to earn that privilege? Only kids would make an argument with the phrase as trivial as, I don't care what others say, because you know what? They do matter. They matter so much because the only way you truly ever see yourself is in the reflection given to us by others. I don't think that's true. I think that there's definitely something to be said for loving yourself and who you are. I don't necessarily agree with that. Maybe it's a little different in art because like the way that people see your art is what validates it to you. But even if you like something that you create, just because nobody else likes it doesn't mean anything. I mean, the same can be said with YouTube. I mean, if I like the videos I put out but nobody else likes them, I don't care because I like doing it. I'm not gonna rant. I'm not gonna keep going. Let's just say I don't agree and move on. You learn to imitate, improve from criticism, and help others improve in return. From our taste to our maturity, everything depends on our relationship with others, and denying it because it's inconvenient is wrong. After all, I thought I was a good artist whenever someone would tell me that they liked my meaningless doodles. Why would I turn a deaf ear to the truth during a hard time? It would be unfair to me. But there's nothing that I can prepare for you for the bitter taste that real justice leaves behind. Lucy folds her arms, her eyes unsure whether they want to express pride or embarrassment or finally revealing her true feelings. But she pushes her feelings aside and resumes speaking in spite of my total astonishment and in spite of the unexpected context of her speech. Now you know the reason as to why I don't like telling anyone about my little hobby. It's no more than that, just a pastime. I don't want to mention it because if someone tells me that I have talent, if someone encourages me to go to the next level, and then I have to carry the weight of the consequences, don't you think it's better for me to try and find the motivation to continue on my own, my true talent? Lucy looks confused after her last rhetorical question. She shakes her head a bit, switching out her sullen face for the usual smug smile I'm used to seeing. I kind of agree with her there. I think it's better, instead of telling people, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and see what other people think of your plans and the things that you plan to do and want to do, then just do it, succeed, and then tell them about it after. I've always kind of lived by that, that kind of philosophy after learning a few lessons. So I agree with that there. I think I would keep it to myself until I was ready. I'm trying not to make this into a deep life lessons with Ash here, but I can't help myself. And now you've gone and dared to tell me I have talent. Look at what you've done, given me hope and everything. How am I supposed to react? Oh yeah, I have an idea. How about I read this aloud? Reaching into her pocket, Lucy retrieves something. Oh lord. It's rectangular and small like a notebook, an incredibly familiar notebook. Oh, not the little creepy notebook he keeps. My notebook! When did you steal that? Give it back! In the car. It fell when you gave your license to the officer. It basically fell on top of me, and I couldn't resist looking at it, considering it's the infamous notebook Siva mentions so often. Well, when you went to return the keys, I read through it a little, although I didn't understand it at all. What is this, some kind of fairy tale? I'm so embarrassed. I try to retrieve my notebook from Lucy, but she turns her back at me and starts reading through it again. Reaching the Sun, Chapter 1. The right and the left. So foretold the tales that once upon a time. Wait, give me that! No way, teasing you is too much fun. I finally managed to grab my notebook out of her hands. The first thing I do is check all of the pages, making sure nothing's amiss. It's not like I've memorized each and every page, especially not when I have the habit of ripping out some pages. It's a bad habit I've developed, and at this point, I do it without thinking. I told you about my embarrassing secrets, and now you have to tell me yours. It's only fair. Also, I'd say I liked what I read, but I didn't have time to finish it. Do you normally write stories in your free time or what? First, don't ever touch my stuff without permission. Second, it's not like I'm dedicated to it. I don't even think about the stories I write. It's something I do because it happens. And what happens next in Reaching the Sun? I don't know. I just started it. You don't know? Aren't you the author of it? I sigh. It's like Lucy has to get away with everything she does, and now she's stringing me along from one place to another without giving me time to think. I have a bad feeling about all this, but I can see the eyes of the car thief shining with curiosity. She won't be letting me off the hooks this easily. I'm not good at writing endings, you know. I have some ideas, yeah, but the more I progress through the story, the less control I have over it until it finally ends. Reaching the Sun is really simple and short story that I wasn't even planning on writing, so I don't know how it'll continue. Well, that's a pity. Don't leave things unfinished, man. Look, to tell you the truth, I was also about to give up on my drawing hobby not too long ago. I saw the garbage in the playground with your own eyes. I don't want to show the world something that I myself don't like. All those failed attempts. It's like I was saying before about motivation. I've been thinking, and maybe I need someone around who will force me to keep working. Someone by my side that forces me to do it, even if I die from embarrassment along the way, and even if I realize that I wish I'd stop doing that. I'm not cut out to be a real artist. What can I say? I couldn't think of anyone who would help me in that way. You know how everyone is. They're playing the game until they can eventually toss everything aside. But now there's someone who knows my secret, and I can't do anything to hide it from him anymore. Is she flirting with me? I don't think I like where this is going. Why not? The more you think about it, the harder it is to take the plunge. It's crazy and we both know it, but it's gonna happen and you can't stop it. Don't make decisions without me. I'm not gonna accept that. But you already did a while ago. I want you to continue writing your story, but from now on, it won't collect dust in your notebook. We can come here together from time to time and keep each other company while we work. You on your story, me on my drawing skills. That way, maybe I can even use what you write as inspiration for my illustrations. The things we're both embarrassed about can become something we share, our little secret. Didn't I say it before? Two people can truly become friends until they share a secret between them. That's kind of sweet in a way. Yeah, you almost got us killed too. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't believe we'll get very far with your plan. I was a total stranger not too long ago, wasn't I? A pervert, even. And what's with this sudden change of heart? Because it benefits her. Duh. It's either a hunch or insanity, or maybe I'm just tired of the usual monotony, and any excuse for change is good, and you just happen to be the first to offer it. You'll have to find a different nut to go along with your plan. Incorrect. You've already accepted, as long as you didn't lie to me earlier. John McGlazy, this is my third requirement. From this moment onwards, I want us to meet up here regularly and work together. Together we'll finish your fairy tale. She's a very demanding girl. You keep getting my name wrong on purpose to mess with me, right? Oh, I think that must be the end of the chapter. Reaching the Sun, Chapter 1. The right and the left. So foretold, wow, that moved fast all of a sudden compared to the other text. So foretold the tales that once upon a time there was a wolf without a past or memory who wanted to reach the sun. On the occasion that the wolf stops being useful to his pack, that wolf will become a solitary creature until the day it dies. There once was a wolf who couldn't, or didn't want to, find his own place to rest eternally. Since then, he hasn't been wandering the land, erasing his trail with each step, always with a melodious pace, like a sad song, trying to find a glimmer of happiness. Even after leaving his footprints on more than 1,000 roads, the wolf realized that he was unable to ever find happiness, for he didn't know where to look. More lost in his thoughts than on his path, he heard a great wise man exclaim that happiness came from the sun. Of course, he couldn't understand those words, nor could he ask for an explanation. Bereft of any other clues, he decided to go to the sun. It was unfortunate for the wolf that he didn't know how to get there. Getting involved in a trip like no other he had made before, he now wondered how he could solve this dilemma. However, it didn't take long for the wolf to find a possible answer to his conundrum. He came upon the wagon of a mobile circus. There were two odd characters that appeared before the wolf, a jester and a clown. Or maybe a clown and a jester. One was fully dressed in white, the other in black. Their height difference was so apparent that it was impossible to make eye contact with them at the same time. How are you, my friend? Friend, how are you? The two nosy yet merry comedians exchanged gazes, smiles, and words as they shared one unified mind. The wolf, confused, didn't know what to say. They weren't giving him a chance to say anything. They were too caught up in each other. All the wolf managed to ask was for their names. Her name is Right, the short black clown stated as he pointed to his partner. And his name is Left, the tall white jester stated as she pointed to her partner. Who are you? They asked while smiling as they both pointed at the wolf in unison. The wolf didn't hear them, or maybe chose not to. His mind was too focused on what seemed to be a hint to his mystery. Both of them looked quite happy, he thought, and their trade requires them to share their happiness with the world. Maybe they knew how to reach the sun or get closer to it. Convinced by his own reasoning, the wolf quickly asked them if they knew of a way to reach the giant flaming shiny ball in the sky. The two opposites shrugged, surprised that the wolf would ask such a weird question. And why do you want to go so far away? They questioned him. A wolf that wants to reach the sun? Right pondered. Oh, now I know who you are. The clown and the jester huddled together, certain of the wolf's identity. What was that name, Right? It was, I got it, Right snapped his finger. It's Skull. Why would it be that name? Left dismissed with a gesture. Haiti. His name is Haiti. The two performers began arguing about the wolf's identity, forgetting about his presence. The canine, tired of their bickering, bared his fangs at them and asked for their attention. He got mad, Right, and the short black jester gloomily pointing at the wolf. I think we made him angry, Left, said the tall white clown, gloomily pointing at the wolf. They looked at each other and sighed in unison. Then, as if an apology, they decided to answer the wolf's question. Right stood in front of the wolf, Left behind him. The first one to speak was Right, who from a distance looked smaller than usual. To Left's right, on the other side of the sea, you can see the sun rising. The wolf turned around, Left raised her right arm and pointed to the east. From this distance, she appeared to be even taller than before. To Right's right, behind the mountains, you'll see the sun setting, said Left. The wolf turned around again. Right raised his right arm in tangent, pointing to the west. If you want to reach it, then you'll have to race towards Left's left, Right exclaimed. The wolf looked to the left. Left raised her arm this time. And Wolf didn't really mind running if it meant he could finally reach the sun. He wasn't the fastest animal in the kingdom. He was a wounded wolf after all, but he considered himself fast enough to surpass the pace of the calm celestial body. It may look slow, said Left as he turned himself around, but it's the exact opposite, said Right as she turned around. Because most likely, it's already won, they said before shrugging in unison. The wolf felt confused and a little angry when Right smiled as she turned her black back to him, and Left cried as he turned his white back to him. But it was as they told him. The sun always rose from one direction and fell from another. If the wolf waited behind the mountains, he could catch it as it passed. Grateful for the help he received, the wolf said goodbye to the strangers, who had only become even more strange after speaking. Waving their hands right and left, asked for the wolf one last question. What is your name then, Skull or Haiti? The wolf sighed as he closed his eyes and gently shook his head. I'm just a wolf, he answered. So be it, if that's what you wish to call me. The wolf decided to go west behind the mountains, certain that he found the answer he had sought. But once he arrived there, he realized that the sun kept going even further beyond the town. Still, he continued chasing it beyond the towns, but the sun kept running, setting little by little behind the fields. Next, he ran through the fields, and when he finally thought he would be able to meet the sun, it was setting. As it was setting, he found that it went even further beyond the sea. From the shore, the wolf was unable to do anything. He felt powerless for being unable to reach the sun. Tired, he lay down on the sand, his pride crushed after discovering that the jester and the clown were right. He couldn't win against the slow sun in a race. His target had disappeared, giving way to the night, leaving only the wind and the darkness as the wolf's companions. The wolf had to seek shelter before it got too dark outside, and he was tired and in pain. He could barely move at all, and time was running short. He wondered what he could do. Everything was the sun's fault for deceiving him and running away like that. Those two silly tricksters were also at fault for not warning him beforehand. How could the sun bring happiness like this? Something so deceptive couldn't bring any joy. Night came, and the wolf expected the worst as he closed his eyes, fearing danger. But none ever came. After opening his eyes, he could see the beach, perfectly illuminated by a cold and beautiful silver cloak. It was the moon. It had listened and answered the wolf's prayers, offering to him the shimmering help he had needed. The wolf was grateful, but the moon was so far away, it was difficult for her to hear the wolf. So he filled his lungs and raised his head in determination. And a resounding howl covered the sea and the skies with a feeling of gratitude. So foretold the tales that once upon a time there was a wolf without a past or memory who wanted to reach the sun. That was a very, very deep, meaningful story. I actually really enjoyed that. I'm kind of surprised. Yep, new chapter, chapter 3. I don't know how many chapters there are. I suppose I could look it up. Gonna admit it? Gonna admit your guilt? Aussie tries to blind me with the light of his cell phone as if he's interrogating me. I believe I can take his cell phone and rip off his entire hand with a single bite, but I instead opt to control my cannibalistic instincts. Proof doesn't lie. You lied to us about what happened on D-Day, so I won't accept any of your pitiful excuses. What'd you do with my sexy flamenca dialist yesterday? I'm totally in favor of you using Roman titles if you're consistent about it, but that girl has her own name. I won't deny that a lot of things happened, but I have to keep it a secret. Not everything that happened was legal. Compañero, you could get her pregnant. Wrap it up. Oh, God. Is that all you think about? You're right. That's impossible. It's you we're talking about. But if I'm involved in it, then you have no chance whatsoever. At least not until after I score. Someday we'll have to work on your mental image of me you've created. Class is in for another day. Aussie and I leave the school together, although he falls behind a bit as he says goodbye to a few of his friends. I wouldn't mind telling Aussie the truth, but I'd have to tell him everything that happened, or else I'd have him thinking that I assault people. The problem is Lucy. She made me promise I wouldn't tell anyone about her hobby or our partnership in general, and that yes, I accepted her unreasonable deal in the end. We made the bet during the basketball match, so now I have to deal with it. What I'm not really convinced about is whether or not it's possible to hide the existence of our new meetings at the library. What am I even thinking? It's not like I actually care if anyone finds out. I'll do my part and I won't snitch, but if someone gets suspicious, I can't stop them. Earlier, Ziva said something about going to the makeup committee meeting, the one for the grad and prom stuff, since the meeting yesterday didn't turn out so well. I don't know why I can't read today. Aussie catches up with me after he says his goodbye to his friends. But the vibration of his cell phone makes him pause. He excuses himself as he slides his thumb over the screen and discovers an enormously unwelcome surprise. Not again, Tsar. I lean my head towards my friend, feigning indifference despite having a terrible hunch about what it may be. You couldn't possibly still be logged into my email account. This time, I'll admit I left it logged in on purpose. After what happened last time, I wanted to know if it happened again, and it did. Aussie tries to show me the screen, but instead I grab it from him directly and peer at the screen. Yes, there it is, and only a few moments ago, another email from the mysterious sender. From Harry H. To Ciaran, Indian. Indian. I have no idea. I think I say that in every video. I have no freaking clue how to pronounce these names. Subject, not for everybody. Can you accept a fake reality? There's no going back after the first step. There's no going back after the first step, nor can taking back what was lost be considered winning. If after knowing the truth you still wish to be sincere, be careful, because that will make you the greatest liar. Until forever, and good luck with the first consequence. I stand still, completely paralyzed. Finally, Aussie says what I've been thinking after he reads the contents of the email. What? That's what I'm wondering. What's the meaning of this? This email is slightly different from the other two. This time it says until forever. Does that mean that this is going to be the last email? I guess so. I just wanted my figurine, but the first sentence clearly states that you can't take back what you've lost, nor are you unable to do anything. Whoever sent this is making fun of me, saying that I'll never see her. And what's the rest supposed to mean? If you're sincere, then you'll become the greatest liar. Isn't that contradictory? The ends of the email up until now were the same. I don't know if I should be angry or happy that there won't be more. All I really know is that I won't take the bait ever again. The mystery remains unsolved without any clues or hope. Maybe I should forget about all of it. I've already got enough to deal with, so I have to meet Lucy in the library this afternoon again, thinking of which I still have a few hours until it's time for us to meet up. There's still time, but since it's my secret base anyway, I'm not going to stop using it because there's a new squatter there. I decide to head to the library early. It isn't that easy, though. Once I reach the park, I run into someone who stops me in my tracks. Ooh! The young girl, whose name I can't remember. I think the best part of going to the library is taking a short stroll around the pond. Claire, yeah, that's her name. Right? It's so nice. She's so cute. I've been waiting for you the past couple of days. What have you been doing? Creeper? A quiet stroll with no one to disturb me. Completely alone, walking through nature with only the song of the leaves dancing around the pond. How many poets have showcased such tender moments in their lyrics of their love letters? Ciaran can't see me. He's gone blind. That means that I'm invisible to him right now. This is a great discovery. I can't miss out on this opportunity. Stop. It was a joke. Stop tickling me. Stop it. It's a miracle. I cured Ciaran and now you can see me. These hands have been blessed with supernatural powers and I didn't even know it. Blind people can also be ticklish, you idiot, and my eyes are perfectly fine except for the myopia, but that's another story. And why do you think they're fine now? Unless you forgot about me. I've already told you that it was a joke. Really? Claire's sudden appearance doesn't surprise me. I even kind of expected her to be here. Maybe this girl's craziness is a good way for me to forget about reality. Her carefree attitude seems to make the real world melt away. Tell me something. Did you forget about me? Would you forget about me if we never met again? Maybe. Hiding under her hat in embarrassment, Claire asked me a very weird question. She looks worried to hear my answer, so much so that it's perplexing. Poor girl. Look, I may forget someone else, but not you. I couldn't forget about someone as peculiar as you that easy. You can't simply erase a big weirdo from your memory, wouldn't you say? I see. Claire sighs discouragingly. It isn't the reaction I was expecting from her. My intention was the opposite, but she immediately comes to her senses and returns to her usual Claire. I've already decided anyway. Next time, don't make me wait so long. I was worried that you were dead or something. You aren't totally wrong about that. I faced death a couple times. Could it be that you're a ghost and you're already dead? That would explain why you couldn't see me earlier. We've already been over that. Let it go. Our conversation resembles a comedian's routine. Talking with Claire, I discovered that we have more in common than just our love for the pond. Oddly enough, though, I'm not annoyed by our accidental meeting. We met not too long ago, so to speak, and even if it was shocking at first, now it's pretty much the opposite. She's definitely insane, yes, but it's one of those comedic instances, compared to the cruel satire that the universe frequently throws around, anyway. I see. You're depressed. Where's the confident Ciaran that I know? The one who likes to flip off innocent clouds? I forgot about that. That was so weird. I'd prefer to inform you that such a Ciaran never existed, but I guess you weren't that far off. The chances on the move. Let me guess, you're upset about your plans going awry. Something or someone in your life has disrupted your normal pleasant peace. It's not too big of a feat to guess that since you're generalizing, but yes. Don't play hard to get. I can read you like an open book. You can't deceive me. Don't you have the answer book there? It could be pretty useful. Maybe. Let's go for a walk, and you can bring me up to date. One shouldn't trust strangers, but sometimes it's precisely with strangers to whom you can speak most freely, since you aren't restrained by social ties. Nevertheless, I speak with Claire. I don't feel like I'm talking to a stranger. She feels more like a lifelong friend. So I tell her about my troubles, if I even call them that, as we take a stroll out of the park. Following her pace, I start vaguely describing all of the events that had transpired this week. The weird emails first, those were the first straw, and then about all the other tribulations that came after that. I skip everything that I think is better not to mention, especially things related to Lucy, since I promised I wouldn't tell anyone. And in this fashion, we walk around together as I divulge all of the details of my disastrous life to her. When I'm done with my complaints, we reach what appears to be our destination. On the main avenue, you can find the shopping mall with a few random stores, like a supermarket, restaurants, and even a theater. It's nothing special, but we don't have anywhere else to go in this small town. Now that I think about it, I used to go to the underground arcade a lot. I wonder if it's still here. Claire was surprisingly attentive and quiet all the way there. She had this mature demeanor that contrasted with her previous behavior. It made me wonder if she had swapped places with a twin and I wasn't aware. But all my doubts were dispelled the next time she opens her mouth. I only listened to half of what you said because it was boring. Learn to summarize. Oh, God. Next time, try to fit it into like 140 characters or less. You could at least pretend that you're interested. I don't know why I even bother. I forgot that you don't have that thing called common sense. I didn't stop listening because it was uninteresting. It was because the answer to your worries is so simple that it's hilarious. What? Do you have a solution? I would love to hear it, since I don't even know what triggered those emails in the first place. I mean, you usually piss someone off and that's how you make enemies, but this time, at first I thought it was some kind of prank, but now I'm not sure. Hey, listen, what are you doing? Ignoring my complaints, Claire fixates her attention on a store display window. Clothes, shoes, and all kinds of feminine accessories are displayed. It's truly a temple of fashion trend followers. Big corporations win once again when it comes to catching people's attention. Good job, designers, for making my words fall on deaf ears. This is the last time I tried to reason with Claire, and also the last time I tried to defeat a cute pair of shoes. If you're so interested in this store, why don't you go in? It's not like I was saying anything important. Claire staggers a little bit, biting her lip before replying to my subtle insinuation. It's not like I'm that interested, it's just that I usually come alone, and it's different if, well... Claire gently falls to her knees as she speaks. It's almost as if she's dying from sadness. I shouldn't spoil her after what she did, but I'm not that kind of person who gets angry over this kind of thing. It's easier to let it go. Everyone's happier that way. If we can go inside if you like. I'm not embarrassed to go with you if that's what you're worried about. In the end, I'm pretty sure the only thing that'll fit you is in the kids department. That's so mean because I have that problem. I was kidding. Don't be like that. Claire starts punching the floor as she turns her face away from me. Don't tell me that. I was right. She crawls away, now appearing to be completely lifeless. Did I hit a nerve? Yes. Yes, you did. I feel her pain. Your clothes really are from the kids section. At your age? Hey. I have to go buy kids shoes, and people always stare at me like I'm a weirdo when I'm in that section. But hey, I'm a little woman. I try to keep shaming her for as long as possible, but not as much as I would have liked to, since Claire seems to forget about it once she sees another display. From then on, she takes me from place to place. She never buys anything, but gets interested often, which I can't understand since she doesn't plan on buying any of it. Look, let's go here next. She gets excited over the smallest things and talks like it's the first time she's ever seen them. Look, there's a creepy guy here. Her constant shouting over everything makes me worry about the people around us. They've started staring at us and crowding around. Look, he's a thief. He's stealing. She goes running after the criminal without even letting me open my mouth to speak. Look, suplex. Oh God, did she just tackle him? I clear my throat to get Claire's attention, but it doesn't seem to work, and she continues doing her thing after slamming the alleged robber against the tile floor. Alright, and with that, I think we're going to go ahead and end this episode here. I now remember what is so goofy and weird about this little visual novel. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and leave off here so this episode doesn't get too long. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe before you leave, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye!